Once again, welcome to Slayter notes. We did CDP one set and CDP and pedagogy one set, and right now we are going to do SST for Ctet examination. Of course, welcome to Slayter notes. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel for any educational purpose related to any sort of competitive exam. As usual, here are some details. Slayter knows MCQ and discussion on social studies, social science for Ctet specially, but also these questions are useful for Atet, Gt&Pgt and other teaching exam because they are common general knowledge about Indian history, geography, polity, and there are some pedagogical questions also. 30 MCQs with some elaborate notes and discussion. That today is set 1. We did set 1 of CDP and SST, and we are going to do one by one. Anyway, let's start. Question number 1. Which one of the following planets is known as the red planet? Venus, Mars, Jupiter or Saturn? So you all know that red planet is Mars, and the answer is Mars. Match column A with column B. Column A is equator, North Pole, prime meridian, South Pole, and column B is 90 degree north, 0 degree latitude, 0 degree longitude, 90 degree south. So what's it gonna be? So as usual, we know equator is 0 degree latitude. So A is equal to 2, and A2 is answer 1, and that is your right answer. North Pole is 90 degree north, and latitudinally, and prime meridian is obviously 0 degree longitude, that is our longitude, and South Pole is 90 degrees south. So yes, that is south, and that is why it's South Pole. So the answer is number 1. Here is the latitude and longitudinal line. As you can see, equator is 0 degree, 30 degree is topic of Capricorn and Cancer, southern hemisphere and northern hemisphere, and then you got 60 degree, that is North Pole, to 60 to 90, and exactly same south also. And when it comes to longitude, it is 190 degree, because 180 degree, as you can see, equator never meet. As you can see in this one, first one, equator, the longitude line never met. They are perpendicular to each other, parallel to each other, and longitude, they all meet at the same point. So when it comes to longitude, it moves from east to west, right? And latitude is south and north. That's how they move. And yes, screenshot it. This is going to be very helpful in further discussion we are going to do. So here's the discussion. We said equator is an imaginary line that circles the earth exactly halfway between the North Pole and South Pole. As equator is the middle of that is exactly, it divides earth into two, and South Pole. It located at 0 degree latitude, as usual it says here. It divides earth into northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. It is the longest latitudinal line on earth. So if the question arrives, what is the longest latitudinal line on earth? It is equator. So areas near equator are usually hot, humid, receive direct sunlight throughout the year. As you know, sun directly falls on equator. Some countries through which the equator passes are Ecuador, Brazil, Indonesia and Kenya. Then comes the North Pole. North Pole is the northernmost point on earth, located at 90 degree north latitude, found in the Arctic Ocean. So the question might arrive, where you can get Arctic Ocean? It's in the North Pole. That is, if you put this like a two-dimensional thing, then north is up and south is down. Likewise, some countries to North Pole is north, located at the 90 degree north latitude, found in the Arctic Ocean, and Antarctic Ocean is south. So extremely cold and covered in ice. So they are both same. What happens in the middle is where at the North Pole every direction is south because it's in the north, and at the South Pole every direction is north. It experiences 6 month daylight and 6 month darkness, because as you can see, equator it falls and the earth move around in a tilted movement. That's why there's further discussion on that. It experiences 6 month daylight and 6 month darkness. That's what you need to know as an fact wise knowledge. Latitude measure distance from the equator equator is equal to 0. Moving north increases latitude. Likewise, moving north increases latitude, and it goes to, like you say, it's 0 degree. Moving north is going to 30, 60 and 90. Moving south 30, 60 and 90. The farthest northern point becomes 90 degree north. So that's it. Then comes prime meridian, that is 0 degree longitude. Prime meridian is an imaginary line used as the starting point for measuring longitude, located at 0 degree longitude. Passes through Royal Observatory, Greenwich, that is in London. The prime meridian is used for calculation time zone, navigation maps and GPS. That's whatever we use from in India. There is a question from what degree India is in from prime meridian, that is Greenwich Mean Time, GMT or whatever, 82.30 degree. 82 degree 30 minutes or whatever. Latitude and longitude, here's the difference. Measure north south position and measure east west position is longitude. Latitudes are parallel lines like we said, but longitude meets at the pole. Equator is 0 degree, prime meridian is 0 degree. Now talk about south pole. South pole is 90 degree south latitude, exactly as the north. The South Pole is the southernmost point on Earth, located 90 degrees south latitude, situated on the continent of Antarctica, like I already talked about. One of the coldest places on Earth, same as at the South Pole, every direction is north. Likewise, at the north, every direction is south. Climate very cold, humid, covered by thick ice sheet. Few humans live there permanently. Mainly scientists stays temporarily. Few humans live there, that are Eskimos and things. Some people that are Eskimos related, and mainly scientists stay there for scientific research as usual. Column A, equator 0 degree, north pole 90 degree, prime meridian 0 degree, and south pole 90 degree. That was the, we decided the question in the other options. Let's move on to question number 3. Which one of the following is not correct regarding the Earth? Earth has only one natural satellite. That is correct. That is, one natural satellite is Moon. Revolution causes day and night. No, revolution does not cause day and night. Rotation causes day and night. Revolution causes seasons, like summer, winter, autumn and all that. Earth is called blue planet. Of course, Earth is called blue planet because if you move on from the Earth, go to satellite, you will see the Earth is covered with water, and water is probably most from seawater. It above it seems like blue. That is why it's called blue planet. Earth supports life. Yes, Earth supports life. That's why we all live there, and not any other planet. So the wrong option is revolution causes day and night because it is rotation. Rotation of the earth causes day and night. Revolution of the earth causes seasons. Rotation. Earth spins on its own axis. Time taken 24 hours. To be exact, that it's 23 hours 59 minutes, something like that. Result, day of side facing the sun and night on the opposite side is equal to day and night. That is rotation. Revolution is earth move around sun. Time taken 365 and a half days. Result, seasons. 1 year, season. Revolution is equal to seasons. Earth has only one natural satellite. The Earth satellite is called Moon. As you know, Earth is called the blue planet because Earth appears blue from the space because about 71% of it is covered with water. Let's move on to question number 4. Read the statement carefully. Statement as the Earth rotates from west to east. Is it true? Yes. Due to rotation, the sun appears to rise in the west. That is exact. Both A and B are correct. True. Question number 5. Biosphere refers to only water bodies on Earth. So if you is going to be hydrosphere, only water. No. Biosphere is everything. The narrow zone where land, water and air interact to support life, that is biosphere. Only atmosphere, that is going to be atmosphere. Only living organism, that's not possible without the other three. So the answer is the narrow zone where land, water and air interact to support life is called biosphere. Here is the definition of biosphere. The biosphere is the narrow zone of the earth where life exists. It includes all living organisms such as plants, animals, humans, along with the parts of land, that is lithosphere, water, that is hydrosphere, and air, that is atmosphere, that support life. It is often called the life supporting zone of the earth. The biosphere maintains balance through interactions among living things and their environment. Forests, oceans, grasslands, deserts, and even microorganisms are all part of the biosphere. Supports all life forms of life, that is biosphere includes land, water, lower atmosphere, maintains ecological balance, depends on sunlight, air, water and nutrients. Example, forest ecosystem, ocean and rivers are all parts of the biosphere. Question number 6. Read the statement and be careful. Human activities can disturb ecological balance. Human activities can disturb ecological balance, that is correct. Conservation of resource is important for sustainable development. Correct option, both A and B are correct. Question number 7. Why do people visit Rajasthan in large numbers? Option A, to see desert, to enjoy snowfall, to visit fort and places, to experience folk culture. So likewise, to see desert, that might be true. To enjoy snowfall, no, there is no snowfall in Rajasthan. To visit fort and place, that is also correct. To experience folk culture, of course, true. So answer is A, C and D, not B, because snowfall is not happening in Rajasthan. Question number 8. Which gas is the most abundant in atmosphere? Options: oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and helium. So the most abundant one is nitrogen, and then it's oxygen. So the answer is yes, nitrogen. The atmosphere is made up of different gases in the following approximate percentage, that is nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, argon that is 93%, and carbon dioxide that is 0.04%. Other gases that include neon, helium, hydrogen, etc. that are 0.03%. So in simple way we can get is 78% that is nitrogen, 21 argon and rest 1%, because we cannot really needed to define argon, carbon dioxide, neon, helium, hydrogen, etc. This composition mainly refers to the lower atmosphere, that is troposphere. Troposphere, that is where from where there's biosphere start. Troposphere, that is the lower, because from then you'll got what stratosphere, different element, mesosphere, those are different things. Which of the following statements are true? Winds move from higher pressure to lower pressure areas. That is absolutely correct, because wind always move from higher pressure to lower pressure. Likewise, if there are a lot of people in a certain place and there are a lot of you guys talk about read about osmosis and diffusion, obviously. So that's the theorem. High temperature creates high pressure. High temperature creates high pressure. Low pressure areas are often associated with rainfall. I don't think so. Maybe it's true. Air pressure changes with temperature. Sure. So the answer is A, C and D, not B, because high temperature does not create high pressure. Okay, wait a second. A, C and D. Low pressure create areas are often associated with rainfall. Yes, because there are rainfall happening. Air pressure changes with temperature. Of course, air pressure changes with temperature. So why is it not true? Let's talk about that. Winds move from high pressure to low pressure, like we already talked about. Air naturally moves from areas of high pressure to low pressure. This movement of air is called wind. High temperature creates high pressure, that is first, because high temperature usually cause air to expand and rise, creating low pressure, not high pressure. So high temperature usually crosses, if the option was high temperature usually causes low pressure, then it is correct. Hot air rises, becomes low pressure. Cold air sinks, becomes high pressure. Low pressure areas are often associated with rainfall. That is true, because in low pressure areas warm moist air rises, cools and forms cloud, alright, often leading to rainfall. So that is why. And the last one is air pressure changes with temperature. That is also true, because temperature affects air pressure, because warm and cold air behave differently. Warm air is equal to low pressure, cold air is equal to high pressure. So that's the thing. Question number 10. Railway are important because they are slowest mode of transport. Nope, they are not slowest, but that is irrelevant here. They carry only passenger, that is also false, because they also carry lots of goods. They are suitable for transporting bulky goods over long distance. That is the correct one. They are cheaper than waterways. Nope, they are not cheaper than waterways. Railways are never cheaper than waterways, because waterways the most cheapest, because they carry large amount of things in the water. So they are, comparatively they are cheap. So the answer is they are suitable for transporting bulky goods about to the long distance. Question number 11. Which of the following are causes of deforestation? Urbanization, of course, causes deforestation, because if you are going to make a town cutting a forest, then it is deforestation to form an urban. Afforestation is something that you plant trees and everything, so that's not. Mining, of course, mining happens by cutting down trees, so that is also the causes of deforestation. Industrial development, of course, industrial development mostly causes by cutting down trees, so that is also the cause of deforestation. But the only thing that is not is afforestation. Afforestation is planting trees, so the B is not there. So S, C and D. Question number 12. Read the following statement A and B carefully. Renewable resources can be regenerated naturally, of course. That's why they are called renewable resources. Solar energy is a renewable resource, of course. That is also true. Both A and B are true. Question number 13. Match N with the following column B. Apiculture is, of course, rearing of bees. Dairy farming is the production of milk. Poultry farming is rearing of birds, chicken, etc. Agriculture is cultivation of growth. So they are all are same. So the answer is A1, B2, C3 and D4. So that is the easy one. Question number 14. Which of the following words is included in the preamble of the Indian Constitution? Which of the following word is included? The monarch cannot be monarch because we are in the democratic republic is the only word. Dictatorship is the complete. The country is republic and democratic, so the only word is republic, not colonial, because we got independence from colonial rules. That those are British guys. Yes, so the answer is republic. Question number 15. The term diversity means absence of differences. No, absence of difference cannot form diversity. Presence of variety and differences, that is the form of diversity. Economic inequality only. Nope. Social discrimination also false. So the answer is presence of variety and differences is the form of diversity. So the presence of variety and differences is the main definition of diversity. So that is the answer. Question number 16. Which of the following is not a feature of democracy? Rule of law. Participation of citizen is the feature of democracy. Freedom of expression is a feature of democracy. Unlimited powers of rulers, that is not the feature of democracy. But nowadays it's kind of, with all the andbhakti. So the answer is unlimited powers of rulers, that is not the feature of democracy. Question number 17. Which of the following works is generally done by municipalities? Conducting foreign affairs, no, that is the form of foreign ministers. Maintaining street lights, that is the only thing that can be generally done by municipalities. Declaring war, nope. Printing currency, nope. So the answer is this, maintaining street lights. Question number 18. Which sequence is correct in the chain of distribution? So consumer, retailer, wholesale, producer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer is a retailer, producer, consumer, wholesaler, consumer, producer, retailer. So the first has to be producer. So the number 2 is producer. Producer sells stuff to the wholesaler, then wholesaler sells to the retailer, and then consumer. So basically producer produce things and then sell to the wholesaler. So wholesaler makes a bit profit and retailer make another. So that's the way. But nowadays it's a more complicated. There are different stages, but this is the simpler one, that is producer, wholesaler, retailer, consumer. Question number 19. Read the statement carefully. Statement A. Many people migrate from villages to the cities in search of jobs. That is correct. Urban areas often provide more employment opportunities. That is also correct. So the both A and B are true, and it explains A, B explains A. Question number 20. Match column A with B. Column A. Gram Sabha, local village assembly, of course, that is true. Lok Sabha is lower house of parliament, that is also true. Rajya Sabha is upper house of parliament, of course, correct. Panchayat is local self-government body. So all of them are sequential. A1, B2, C3, D4. Question number 21. What is meant by gender discrimination? Equal treatment of all gender, no, that is a good thing, that is not discrimination. Unfair treatment based on gender, that is a gender discrimination. Respect for diversity, economic development, those are positive words. So the answer is unfair treatment based on gender. Question number 22. Fundamental rights are important because they increase access, no, protect the dignity and the freedom of citizen, that is the one. Protect the dignity and freedom of citizen is the, that's why need fundamental rights. Give unlimited power to rulers, no, promote monarchy, that is some. Answer is protect the dignity and freedom of citizen. Question number 23. Which of the following may violate the rights to equality? Untouchability, equal wages, discrimination on caste basis, or equal opportunity in education. Like when you read it, you get it. The answer, equal wages is a good thing, equal opportunities in education is a good thing, but violation of right of equality, that is untouchability, and discrimination on caste basis. So answer is A and C. Question number 24. Read the statement carefully. Statement: a police investigation includes collection of evidence, that is correct. An accused person is considered guilty before trial, because I think that is false. You cannot really accuse a person of guilty before trial, because you have to prove his mistake. Then like you know, innocent until proven guilty. That's the term you hear always when celebrities and people get in trouble for misconduct and sexual thing. You can, so some fan will scream, oh, innocent until proven guilty. So that is the thing. So the police investigation include collection of evidence, that is true, but accused person is considered guilty, not guilty, because after trial maybe he can consider guilty. So that is to be as false. Question number 25. Which of the following is an effective way to reduce marginalization? Ignoring minority culture? Nope, that is not the way to reduce. Promoting equal opportunities in education? That is the only way to reduce marginalization. Forcing uniformity and preventing participation in society? That are wrong. So the answer is promoting equal opportunities in education. Question number 26. The right against exploitation prohibits child labor is hazardous industry, human trafficking, equal pay for equal work, forced labor. So right against exploitation, a child labor in hazardous industry, that is correct. Human trafficking, that is totally wrong. That is against exploitation. Equal pay for equal work, that is the only one that is positive. So forced labor is also wrong. So A, B and D is the answer, and it's option 1. Question number 27. Studying a topic using perspective from history, geography and political science together is called what? That is interdisciplinary approach. Everybody knows that. You should know that. Without it you are going to be, you just know. If you don't know, you know now. Everything that were related, that is interdisciplinary, because you were jumping from one discipline to another. Likewise, question number 28. Which of the following is important while preparing social science curriculum? Ignoring local knowledge? No, you cannot ignore local knowledge. There are some important things. Encouraging rote learning? No, you cannot really encourage rote learning, because that is not the way. If you don't understand, rote learning is going to make you like the silencer or virus or whatever you know from Three Idiots. Option 3, including learners' experience and surroundings, that is correct. Limiting classroom discussion, that is wrong. So what is important? Important is including learners' experience and surroundings is the answer. Yes. Question number 29. Narrating a real life social issue in classroom teaching is an example of lecture? No. Case study? No. Dictation? No. That is drill? No. That is case study, because lecture method is your lecturing. If you are talking about someone's life, that is you are doing, it is a case study. So the answer has to be case study method. Question number 30, that is the last one. Which of the following classroom practices promotes critical thinking among students? Asking only recall based question, that is the lowest level of what? Hierarchy of Maslow. Is that Maslow? Yes, that is remembering. That is false. Encouraging questioning and discussion, that is no, that promotes some critical think. Giving notes for memorization, that is stupid. Discouraging participation, of course, that is totally wrong, because you have to encourage participation. So the answer is encouraging question and discussion, that is the real answer. So alright, so we did 30. That was first. Anyway, so we did what? CDB set 1 30 questions, and SST set 1, that is today. We have in the stock we have like 7 more CDP and SST2, so that is only 9 classes or sessions or whatever. Before then we are going to, so it's September, there is a lot of time. So if you are watching others, that is good, but also you check this out. These are very important questions and all that. Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe to the channel. That the channel name is just study hard and work smart and all those things. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye and have a nice day.